Okay, here we go, guys. So back on the road again. My Goldwing's belly is full. Love being able to use that 87 octane. Kevin right here on his 2007 Ultra Classic has to use 91. I'm happy to be able to use 87. Well, here we go. Next stop, Lake Arrowhead. This right here to my right, the city of Corona. This right here to the left is the 71 freeway. This is actually a dam right here. This is Prado Dam. There's a really nice shooting range right back here where you can shoot skeet and trap and rifles and yeah, all kinds of goodies. And this 71 freeway takes you out to Chino Hills, Ontario. So we are now in the county of Riverside. Just gonna take it nice and easy with the wing because this motorcycle is so massive. Make sure Kevin's behind me right here. Of course, this is the state of California and we can legally lane split right here. Well, normally, like right now, we're going 50 miles an hour, so I'm pretty good right here. But if traffic starts running and is slower than about 30, just so I can keep moving, I will lane split. You're looking good there, Mr. Kev. You're looking good there. As long as we keep moving like this, I'll just sit in the lane, but if it slows down, I'll go across in lane split. He's just saying as long as we keep moving, he has no problem. Wait, say what? Say again? Yeah, he's riding a big bike too, a little smaller than the wing, I think. It's not as wide. This wing has a massive front fairing. See, so right now I have no issue. This remote is staying completely synced. I bet it's just because I just spoke to you guys about the fact that I've been having issues with that. Now it's going to behave itself and not show that it's having any problems. This is these two lanes on the left here is, man, something that was good and something that's bad. So these lanes on the left right here used to be carpool lanes. For those of you who live in states where they don't have carpool lanes, to be in those lanes you have to have 2 or more people in your vehicle, or if you are on a motorcycle you can be a single ride on a motorcycle and still get into those carpool lanes. Then, because traffic was so bad, they took and made these toll lanes, and it actually made traffic even worse, because not everybody's going to want to get in there and spend the money to be riding the toll lanes. And so now we have more people in the regular lanes than we used to have before, because the people that used to ride carpool now don't anymore, because you have to have a toll account to ride in those lanes. And there are days when they can be actually quite expensive, in excess of $15 or more. I mean, that's when I used to live out here. It used to be during peak hour traffic time, it used to be in excess of $15 one way. So your toll bill, was insane at the end of every month. Insane. So living out here, if you want to travel those toll roads, when you buy a house out here, you got to kind of factor for, I'm going to pay this much more for gas, I'm going to pay this much more for maintenance and tires on my vehicle, I'm going to pay this much more per month for my toll fees, and take all of that into consideration when you come live out in this area right here. Hey, let's get over to these HOV lanes here, Kev. So yeah, once we pass the 15 freeway, let this guy just pass here and then we'll come across. Once you pass the 15 freeway, now that lane turns into a carpool lane, but it's way too late. Yeah, he's gonna go around you. There's no way for us to go. I'm right up on the butt of the car in front of me. I don't know what that guy's issue is. So yeah, but this time when you can get into the high occupancy vehicle lane, it's too late. The worst of the traffic is the 10 to 15 to 20 miles behind me that are now toll lanes that we can't ride in. Oh well, I have a fast track account with the toll roads, The thing though is, if I choose not to ride the toll road that day, and as I get further down the road the traffic starts to build up, I can lane split. Whereas these guys, they are just stuck. Once we exit this freeway, we're still on the 91 rolling east. This 91 will become the 215, and we'll head north on the 215. But once we get off the highway and start getting up the roads leading up towards Arrowhead, it starts to get really pretty out here. So the traffic going westbound to the left of me right here, what was he on, his motorcycle? Yeah, for sure. Oh, he's just saying he saw a CHB cruiser right to the side of our road there, just sitting in traffic. But as I was saying, these left-hand lanes right here, or the lanes to the left-hand side of me, is the 91 going west, and that takes you into Orange County, but also all the way up into LA County. This guy in this white van up ahead of me, in and out of the carpool lane all the time. There's nowhere to go. Just chill, let your stress levels go down, and just flow with traffic, man. There's nowhere to go. The car ahead of me can't go any faster than he is. So yeah, he's so impatient. I had all kinds of good intentions of washing my bike this morning before I left to go out to Arrowhead, but it felt so good just sleeping in a little bit this morning after 5 days of being on the road. So yeah, my bike, especially the front fairing, has all kinds of bugs splattered all over across the front of it. The windshield a little bit, I clean that maybe a couple times a day. The bug splatters you see on there right now is from our ride from Vegas out here to California. Okay, thank you. He's just warning me that CHP is coming up behind me. Okay, cool. Motorcycle or cruiser? For the most part, they still ride those Harleys. It's more the city cops have transitioned to the BMWs. The motorcycle officers, they are so interesting to watch, man. So many times out here they'll you can actually go in and watch the police training sometimes, and when they have the competitions to see who's the best at doing all the slow maneuvers and slow races, and yeah, riding through all those different cone patterns. Man, those guys have incredible skill. Hats off to them, they have incredible skill. I recently was listening to a video someone did regarding the newer Goldwing, the DCT model, and like with this bike right here, I will go to the parking lot, put out some cones, do slow maneuvers so that I can keep improving my skill. I am not where I want to be yet, but since the time I bought the motorcycle, I am a lot better of a rider on the air, but I want to keep improving my skill. But now on those DCT models, there are some people who do these slow maneuvers and things quite often. I was getting out of the carpool lane, so the guys could pass us on behind, but now traffic is slowing down. Anyway, we'll just stay here for a little while. But yeah, on those DCT models, there have been guys that have been doing those slow maneuvers, and they actually, I don't know, burnt out that dual clutch, something, or completely messed up the gearing system on there. And the first time one of them sent their motorcycles into Honda, saying that there was an issue with the transmission and the clutch system. Honda repaired it, but when it started becoming a recurring problem, Honda asked, what kind of riding are you doing that the DCT is having issues like this? And the guy said, oh, I do this slow maneuver practice, takes part in these cone pattern, I don't know what you call them, but the patterns we use, do these slow maneuvers through the cones, those competitions and stuff like that. And so now Honda will refuse to cover your DCT under warranty if you partake in slow maneuver practicing like that. So yeah, that's kind of a bummer right there. I really like the DCT. I rode a DCT one time, probably put about 100 miles on it. It was a demo event for Honda that I was able to be a part of out in Santa Ana here in Orange County. And I really like the motorcycle a lot. I thought I would hate the idea of not having a clutch, or not having a gear shift, or not being able to be in control of what I want the bike to do. Within 10 minutes of being on that motorcycle, I couldn't care less that there wasn't a clutch, that there wasn't a gear shifter. That bike is manufactured absolutely superbly. For me, I mean, I'm not one of those guys that goes out and races around and all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, but not anymore. So for me, I'm just out to cruise, enjoy the ride. It's all about the scenery, the company you're with, and of course it's a lot safer. But that DCT is absolutely superb. Rain mode, eco mode, touring mode, sports mode. Really, really amazing. Half the time I rode the motorcycle I was in tour mode, the other half of the time in sports mode. And that sports mode, oh my gosh, it's got all the power you need. Even in touring mode, that baby will run. So yeah, I like the DCT. I just don't have $35,000 to spend on one. This right here, this 2008 Goldwing though, it is an amazing piece of machinery. I love riding this motorcycle. About a year ago, my wife and I did about a 850-ish kind of around the mile road trip, and I rented a 2001 Goldwing. Now it wasn't the DCT model, it was the manual 6-speed. The DCT of course is a 7-speed, and yes, that bike handled the road superbly. It rode amazing. 10 out of 10 for that. But that seat on that new Goldwing, oh my gosh, that has to be the most uncomfortable motorcycle seat I've ever sat on in my life. We were about an hour and a half to 2 hours into our ride, and just had to stop just about every hour and a half or so that we could get off that seat and get the blood flowing back in our butt cheeks again. That seat was as uncomfortable as heck. When you read about that new Goldwing, the first thing everyone does after they purchase it and ride it for a while is install a brand new seat on that thing. The seat on this 2008 is just completely the opposite. It is probably the most comfortable seat that I've been on. It's really comfortable. I can go all day on this thing without having to get off, just stopping for gas stops on a long ride, which is what we did for the most part on our trip out to Arizona. We're gonna exit right here in about a mile and a half and get on the 210 freeway, start making our way up the hills out to Arrowhead here pretty soon. So making some really good time. Yep, so this is the 210 freeway running east that we are just transitioning to right now, and in just about 2 miles or so we are gonna get up on Highway 18 and start making our way up the hill. In 1.5 miles we're gonna get on Highway 18 at Waterman Avenue. I like to, when I'm riding with people, keep them up to date with what the next exit is or what's going on up ahead, just for safety, and they can kind of be aware of what my thinking is. I like that we're able to communicate like that. Right now I am using the 50S right here, and the 50S does have mesh audio. I'm not using that right now though, because Kevin doesn't have mesh, but we do have the CB radios on our motorcycles, and I prefer that to Bluetooth. Stopping up here. I prefer the CB radio to the Bluetooth connection, just because the Bluetooth tends to drop out all the time. Yep. And if I'm riding on the freeway and we happen to get stuck in traffic and 10 or 15 cars get between us, or if I'm riding with a big group of riders, maybe the first 5 riders or 6 riders can hear me on Bluetooth, but the rest of them kind of lose me because the range of Bluetooth is only so far. But with the CB radio you have a much bigger range. Of course, with mesh, once Kevin upgrades his communication device, with mesh you can get 1.5 miles range, I believe, which will be a lot better. So once we get him upgraded to mesh, and we get my wife upgraded to mesh, that's the way I'll go, instead of using the intercom system on the bike or the CB radio. I do like the CB radio a lot though. I love this, just with my pointer finger here on the left hand side, just pressing that button and being able to communicate with a click. Yeah, it shows 77 degrees right here on the Goldwing, and you better believe it, because the Goldwing is never wrong. See, so just because I was mentioning to you guys about this issue with the remote right here. Now we are having no issues at all, and my cameras are staying connected. Maybe I should talk about that more often, and then it'll stay connected. But I was, after my trip to Arizona, I was actually considering calling GoPro to try and figure out what the heck is going on with this remote. Maybe I have a defective one, I don't know. So yeah, I'd appreciate if you guys let me know in the chat about this remote. What is going on with this thing? I don't know. I think first thing I need to do, I actually don't even know if I'm pretty sure, I mean, it has a USB-C port, so I'm pretty sure that you should be able to upgrade the firmware on that thing. So I should probably do that before I contact GoPro about it and see if maybe it's fixed in a firmware update. I think I'll do that as soon as I get back home in a couple days. I changed my shot on this camera that faces back at me. I used to run that in wide, and then the camera on my helmet in super view. And so now I changed that one to super view as well. I kind of like the look of that. So I think I'll just leave them both in this super view mode. I think it gives a really nice shot to where you just don't see me. But if I'm passing some pretty places, you can actually see the view and the scenery behind me, instead of just a much tighter shot of kind of my head and my shoulders. I think I kind of like the look of that a lot better. On both cameras I am recording in 4K 30, and I have the image stabilization set to boost. A lot of people say when they have it set on that boost, they don't like the way it looks. They think it's too smooth. I actually like the look of it a lot. So most people's videos that I've watched have been putting that image stabilization on high instead of boost. Yeah, like I say, I like the boosted setting. Well, here we go, starting our climb up into the hills.